Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we're gonna be continuing the file narration series with the characters' voice lines for the various operators in Arknights. In this mini little countdown series inside of the regular file narration series that I'm doing on the channel, we are going over characters who are both connected to the plot of Arknights and Stultifera Navis in a couple of days, plus just the general thing of Abyssal Hunters, Aegir, Iberia, and so on and so forth. And today we're finally, with the fourth video, going over the first of the three proper Abyssal Hunters that we have so far in the game, in the form of Gladiia. AKA, can you not see that Bloodborne is my favorite game? But yeah, anyway, let's go over her. First off, before I go over her, as per usual, over the skills and shit, first of all, let me just say, if you are a new player to Arknights and are stumbling up on this video, Gladiia is a free 6-star unit. You can obtain her for free through the Arknights side story. And the side story, like many other side stories, is for free, available in-game, even outside of outside of reruns, through the record restoration stuff that exists in the game. So if you want to get her, and you have your record restoration tokens, you can unlock the Arknights side story, read through it yourself, or shameless self-plug, listen to me narrate through the story on this channel, and get this unit for free, including all of her potentials. And those potentials are very much needed, and I'll go over that in a second why. So, first off, let's go over the fact that she is a 6-star Hookmaster, the only 6-star Hookmaster. We have a 5-star in the form of Cliffheart, and I think there are 2? Am I forgetting one? I remember Rope, and I have a feeling I'm forgetting one. But yeah, she's the only 6-star Hookmaster so far. And why did I say that these talent upgrades are important? Well, she is the most expensive Hookmaster out of all of them, costing, even with full potential, 13 deployment points to, well, deploy. Which is quite high. But why does she cost so much? Well, it has to do with a lot of her talents and her skills. So let's go over these. First off, traits. Obviously, she shifts enemies with using her skills, and she can be deployed on ranged tiles as well. Now, as similar to Andriana yesterday, she has an Abyssal Hunter talent, which essentially, when she is deployed, so not unlike Andriana, who only has to be in the team, Gladiia here has to be deployed for this thing to work. But all other Abyssal Hunter units, while she is on the field, will receive a 2.5% max HP recovery every second, and a 25% reduction in physical and arts damage received, but only from seaborne enemies. So the health regen is there, but this 25% reduction for physical and arts damage is only applicable to seaborne enemy damage. Which is okay. It's kind of a bit of a letdown that it doesn't work on everything, but it makes sense that it's just for seaborne. Again, this is very much tying into her as a unit, or rather, the lore. Second off, her second talent is a flat 136% increase, 130 if the talent is not upgraded through the potentials, and it applies to enemies who are 3 weight or less. So essentially, she gets a huge attack boost for enemies who are pretty much paperweight. But when it comes to her skills, all 3 of them are slightly different. Well, the first 2 are slightly different from each other, but the third one is like a completely different beast all of itself. But skill 1, auto skill, 5 energy, very quick regen on it, plus it can store itself up to 2 times. Great. 180% on rank 7 upgrade to physical damage when it hits, and it pulls enemies towards her moderately. Her second skill, on the other hand, lasts for 20 seconds, increases her attack speed, or rather attack interval is being increased, and her range is expanding. Now the expansion is essentially, this is her normal range on E2, and with the second skill active, it becomes a 3x3 box grid in front of her. So she has some extra space that she can hit depending on how you deploy her, meaning it could be very useful in certain situations, but again, it's a situational thing. Unlike the first skill, it can hook 2 targets at once. It prioritizes blocked enemies and deals 150% attack as physical damage when it hits. Plus, it obviously drags them again moderately. Now, for the washing machine skill, the Maelstrom. First off, it hits 1 target at first, binds the target in place. Around the target, a tornado appears. Anything in the tornado gets cut in half for its movement speed. The enemies inside of the tornado are receiving 100% of Gladia's attack as art damage. So unlike the first and second skill, it's art, not physical damage. And all the enemies in the tornado, on top of being slowed down, are being dragged towards the center of it with a moderate pull every 1.5 seconds. And then finally, once the skill is over, it pulls everything towards Gladiia. So yes, everything that survives in the Maelstrom gets then just yoinked towards her. It does cost a shit to charge up, but it's pretty brutal skill. Pretty great on a huge group of enemies. But yeah, that is about it for this section. So let's go into her file, shall we? And there's a couple of very interesting things already from the very get-go compared to other operators that we have featured so far on on this channel. So let's begin. Basic info. Codename Gladiia. Gender female. Combat experience 17 years. Place of birth Aegir. Date of birth November 6th. Race undisclosed. So despite it saying undisclosed here, I'll give you one. If you haven't read Undertides yet, one of the races is Aegir, but the other one, well, go and read go and read that story. Height 181 centimeters. So if anyone ever who has actually read the Undertide side story has wondered why she looks like she's towering above the other operators when her art is right next to someone else's, she's tall. She's a very tall lady. Oh boy. Side little trivia, I'm only about 7 centimeters above her. She's almost my height. I love it. Anyway, a neat little thing that I've seen only on her in this basic info section, only on her, and I think normal Spectre, is weight. I don't remember other operators outside those two, not even Skadi, having a weight here. But weight is apparently redacted. Why is that there? Why does that have to be there? But yeah, infection status. Medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. With her confirmation, all files pertaining to Gladiia have been moved to the high clearance database. Physical exam. Physical strength outstanding. Mobility redacted. Physical resilience outstanding. Tactical acumen excellent. Combat skill outstanding. And once again, Originium arts assimilation flawed. This makes it 3 out of the 4 we have featured so far in this mini countdown series that have a flawed on arts assimilation. Again, makes sense. Profile. Gladiia, an Aegir. Aegir Technology Council, Leader of Honor, Exercitus, and the Chief Designer of Warfare of the Aegir military organization Abyssal Hunters. The time and venue of her landing is unclear. Gladiia demonstrates exemplary abilities in the wild array of scenarios, including confrontations against large creatures, hard objective demolitions, assault, annihilation, mobile warfare, and espionage. She is currently assisting Rhode Island with its work as a collaborator. While she continues to fulfill Ager's state functions, she now also serves as a representative for Rhode Island's Ager affairs. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there is no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be uninfected. Cell originium assimilation 0%. Gladiia shows no signs of originium infection. Blood originium crystal density, and this is a very unique one, 0.011 units per liter. So let me put it this way. The majority of people, even people who stay very far away most of the time from originium, will have something like a 0.05 on average towards anywhere towards 10, 15, or in the infection cases, obviously, it goes up to a 30 plus, which is already 0.30 to be exact, which is already like, I might die any moment kind of value. But our dear Abyssal Hunter here that's basically nothing. You would literally have to freaking it's like taking a knife to scrape off something off a table to find anything. You're trying to scrape for something to find it even. This is trace amounts. This is not even present. It's fascinating. Anyway, Gladiia rarely comes into contact with originium. What exactly caused the scarcity of originium in Ager's borders? Good question. Originium is not the only disease to befall us under this sky full of stars. The incurable disease brought by the sea's infection is one and the same as the flesh and blood of other species. Anyway, archive file number 1. You're looking for Gladiia. You know Gladiia then? Huh, has anyone seen Gladiia? I asked that question so many times, but the only answer I've ever received is no. It's not that she's elusive like Project Red is. Most operators don't even know who she is. She doesn't even have any reliable rumors about her, though she does have a huge sense of dignity. Sheesh, she really doesn't give a damn about anyone else, you know? The Rhode Island Magnificent Seven didn't get its name for sitting around. I really ought to have them teach her a little. I'm just kidding. Can you even say for sure who could take her on in a fight? I don't think I can. Betting your operators to fight? Better watch out for the legal department. Really though, you're definitely gonna be turned away, but let me remind you anyway. It's strictly forbidden to bring these Ager to the training room. Don't even think about it. If you haven't seen Gladiia fight, you ain't got no idea what it's like. She sometimes complains about how dry her skin is, how there's no water, how that keeps her out of the game and whatnot. That's cause she runs way faster than arrows. When she fights, she makes all these loud noises and like, if she says anything to you during a fight, you'll be dead before you even hear it. Her lance is not for stabbing. She hacks at people with it like an axe, a sickle. It still leaves a whole bloody mess on the ground in the end, but it's creepy for real. Seriously, you've never met her before, have you? Signed by Closure, chilling on the couch as she remarks to a certain Ager operator while tossing her portable terminal into the trash can for the 3rd time of the day. Love it. Typical Closure. Anyway, archive file number 2. Of all the countries there are in this world, Iberia is the only one to have even a shallow understanding of the sea. From the way I see it, the difference between the countries Might and Iberia is a result of their ignorance. The societies on land are neither efficient nor safe. This isn't anyone's fault. However, the Aegir must be traitors in their eyes, though that's hard for me to imagine. I never got to know my father, but my birth mother was someone who enjoyed authority, indulging in worldly pleasures, and even so short-sighted. This last part is perhaps arguable, but there is no doubt about the first two. That is why I did not stay with my birth family. It took me a very long time to break free of my birth mother's control too. My family are those who raised, acknowledged, and supported me, and not the ones who merely passed on their genes to me. I am not related to my new family by blood, and that's a common thing among the Aegir. Katze thinks the Aegir's pride and isolation are sins in themselves. She likely has her own reasoning for that. I know very well that these uncivilized landwalkers are not going to accept us Aegirs. Neither Aegir's culture nor its knowledge will ever be of any use to them. Keep your weapons from the barbarians. Signed, Gladiia. Don't listen to her. She's knowledgeable in transmission tech. She's just not giving you any of those core technologies, and we have no use for them either. Where are we supposed to even get our hands on those materials? If she's mad at you, that's definitely a good thing. If she's polite though, that means she doesn't really care much about you. It's not something she's going to say out loud because of her pride. We're used to people like her. Signed by a certain engineering operator, name omitted likely out of fear. Love it. Archive file number 3. I thought Gladiia doesn't do research with the rest of us because she's always somewhere else. I heard from Gladiia later on that there are certain two types of consuls in Aegir, science and technology. She's on the technology side, so she's not too familiar with theories and the like. Aegir's basic education is really on another level. From my point of view, she's an all-rounder. Are consuls supervisors, though? Do scientists and engineers run the country too? It's quite hard to imagine, really. By the way, military technologies are apparently technologies too. Also, by the way, this sentence is kind of fucking with my head and I don't know why. Military technologies are apparently technologies too. If that is something that is lost in translation, maybe someone can enlighten me to what the actual thing was saying in either Chinese or Japanese, because that is like contra-intuitive. Why wouldn't military technologies not be considered technologies? What? Anyway, Originium arts don't count, however. She doesn't understand that at all. Are all Abyssal Hunters like completely insulated from Originium? Even someone with as bad of an infection as Spectre couldn't use the most simple of arts. I think I kind of have a guess why that is, though she'll never admit to it. I think the Abyssal Hunters have to be the product of Aegir's technological research. God knows how Aegir gets its people to accept that kind of research though. Aegir's technological level is really beyond measure. Its cities are completely invisible even under such immense pressure. Its energy facilities are powered without the use of minerals, and its low-temperature alloy treatment process. The ability to transmit large amounts of information with minimal loss, and the blends of so many different species. Dear God. What's more, the ocean, if the lands are truly boundless, then what about the ocean? How many Aegir cities are there? There can't be more cities down there than on land, can there? Why haven't they tried to make contact with us? Now that's the million-dollar question. I shudder to even think about it. Those sea monsters, just how bad are they that the Abyssal Hunters can't go home anymore? Archive file number 4. Private log transmitted to you. What should the Abyssal Hunters do from here on out? There has been no response to the transmissions that Gladiia made with Rhode Island's equipment. No one knows what has become of Aegir beneath the ocean's surface, much less whether the other Abyssal Hunters are still alive. I am certain that the Aegers that the Iberians took in the islands, that is, were citizens of the sea who left their homeland after the events that unfolded there. Most of the islanders are technological workers, with only a small amount of them scientific researchers. The Science Council, leaving their magnificent advanced homes behind, was sacrilegious to them. Though they were mere fragments of Aegir's technological advances, using the islanders' technology, the Iberians immediately propelled themselves from just another powerful nation into a dominating superpower. The whole of Aegir's might and technological prowess are things that the nations on land will never want to witness firsthand. And that's to say nothing of how the majority of those who live on land do not know that oceans existed in the first place. Although Gladiia remains unwilling to reveal this information, we know that the few Aegers there are in Iberia had moved there years ago, and that's also how the Abyssal Hunters came to be. From this, we can already surmise that the events that transpired in Aegir are no mere disasters. The Abyssal Hunters are undoubtedly the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Aegir's military technologies. They definitely are not Aegir's last defense. They are its vanguards and its sacrifices, as though the Aegers were trying to test the sea monsters. Gladiia is not one to shy away from conveying her pride using etiquettes, but she cannot hide the fact that she is also trying to conceal her anxiety. I can tell they have much to keep from me, and far too much. She hasn't told you why the Seaborn was looking for Skadi, has she? Speaking of which, the Seaborns are far from the top of the hierarchy of those sea monsters. There must be even more advanced life deep under the sea. Gladiia tried to protect the Abyssal Hunters in her own way. She's afraid that the Church of the Deep and the Seaborns are far from the only ones who will try to do harm to the Abyssal Hunters. She believes the technology and information she holds are one of the few bargaining chips she still has left. She is trying to trust us, but she remains untrustful of others. If she didn't want to help all of us fend off these threats from the sea, then she would be sunbathing on the deck right about now instead of running all around the world. In addition, if an uncontrollable change is occurring in Skadi, then as one of the first Abyssal Hunters, the road Gladiia has ahead of her is just as bumpy. Give her a little time. The training and experience she has will lead her to make the right conclusion. She is still a citizen of Aegir, but we don't belong to any nation out there. Aegir is yet silent. Signed by Kotsit. Promotion file. Never give up hope. You must live. Mara takes one last breath. Her light blonde curls dangle on the soldier's arms. He hangs his head, a grim expression still on his face, as he tries his best to hide the tears dripping down his face. A round of applause. The show has reached its conclusion. This is where you stand up and join the ovation. The Seaborns cannot enjoy theatrical performances, and the Sea Terrors don't know how it feels to enjoy music. Never give up hope. This is our last line of defense. Applaud these works of elegance. They may be the only assets our kind has left. Now, seriously, if you want to know how she looks like, you should go to Rhode Island's balls. She goes to those every time she's on the ship. You can usually find her in the bars, too. She usually sits in the corner and listens to jazz music, though, so it's not easy to strike up a conversation. Balls, though, if you ask her for a dance, she's usually going to nod and agree even if she doesn't say a peep. Have you seen her dance by herself? No? You gotta see it then. Her turns are like the wind, and her hair flutters on the stage like a maelstrom. I was so captivated I didn't even notice when the music stopped. That's not what I wanted to talk about. When she dances with someone, she's like a whole different person. It doesn't matter how good a dancer you are. When she takes your hand and holds your waist, she makes you feel like you can dance too. Even if you're terrible at it, she will never let you step on her dress. If she weren't so formal around everyone, I might just have... I'm so lucky that I still got to dance with her. Anyway, final things I can add to the file are a couple of things I found as little trivias around her. For example, not to spoil too much about the Arknights story, but one character in the story didn't call her by Gladiia, as it is written here in her file, but by Gla-Dia, without one extra E in there. And apparently, in Sanskrit, this translates to dejected spirit, which is quite the interesting one. Quite the interesting one indeed. But yeah, let's go over to her voice files, which means I'm gonna shut up and you guys get to listen to the rest of this until the end. So, I'll see you in a bit.
しばらくここを離れてくださいませ。私の勤務を妨げる行為はどのようなものであれ許されませんわ。あしからずご承知おきを。愚かで無意味な問題の発生は防ぎたい。少なくともこの一点においては私たち意見を同じくしていますわよね。ドクターのように経験豊富な方ならお分かりでしょうが、多くの人間はそのつもりがなくとも破滅的な行動を取りがちですね。とはいえ、海のことに関しては他の者たちが準備を整えるまでドクターがどれほど思案したところで無意味ですけれど、オペレーターの方々に戦闘終了後の私の体や武器に触れないよう伝えてくださる？私が火傷させたとでも訴えられたらたまりませんもの。私の話し方が他人行儀すぎると。陸地の言語にはまだ不慣れですのよ。それに個人的な見解ですけれど、ドクターは無礼な私など見たくないでしょ。アビサルは己の職責を全うしなければなりませんわ。過去の犠牲をないがしろにするような振る舞いは明確な裏切りにあたります。とはいえスペクターにスカジに私はあと何人救い出せるでしょうね。たとえ生き残りを救い出せたとしてもとうに恐怖に押しつぶされていて苦悶の時を引き延ばすだけかもしれません。あなた歌は好き？踊りは？私と一曲どうかしら。ステップがわからなくても問題ないわ。私が教えてあげる。詩に絵に音楽、そういったものを忘れてしまってはダメよ。表現は全ての人がこの星空の下で生きた証なのだから。人々の意志はそうして形を変えて生き続けるの。さあ踊りましょう。ケルシーはドクターへ救いを求めなさいと言うけれど、私まだ信じきれませんのよ。エーギルに比べればあなた方の科学技術は原始的ですし、精神的にも大いに問題が。強打な方が多すぎます。私にはあなた方があれと対峙する絵が全く見えません。空気が乾いていますこと。陸地での戦闘は熱が上がりやすいですわ。まあ領友たちの遺体に囲まれるよりはマシですけれど、海ではそこかしこにありましたから。彼らの死に様は脳裏に刻まれ、口を開けばその生臭さすらも味わえるのですわ。それでも私たちは 神戸を垂れてはならなかったのです。私たちは同類ではないかもしれない。それでもあなたは私と同盟を結べると思うの？ケルシンは私よりずっと年上で、彼女の負担はおよそ想像の及ぶところじゃない。でもそれら全てはいずれあなたが向き合わなきゃいけないものだから。強くなるのよ。失うことを恐れないほど強くなりなさい。私はずっとそばで見ているから。ドクター、私はロドスのエーギル部門責任者に任命されたグレイディアですね。今後仕事の上で関わる機会もあるでしょうけど、どうぞ私のことはよそのものとお思いください。まだドクターの信頼に値しませんもの。なるほど。戦術も装備もあなた方の時代の発展経過と一致していますわね。新しい契約ですの？認めていただけるのはありがたいのですけれど、私はすでに多くの重要任務にアサインされていますので、ドクターからの任務に就くのはだいぶ先になりますわ。ご不便をかけますわね。ごめんあそばせ。戦争、種の生存に関わる争いは勝利という概念など存在しない死闘ですが、あるのはこの星空の下で他の種が全て滅亡するという結果だけ。アビサルはその日が来ることをできる限り遅らせるために命を懸けて抗っているのですわ。常に霊言と悔いもなくドクターの部隊補佐として訓練に参加しますわ。ハードな戦場ではなさそうですわね。これをオペレーターの狩猟訓練として行ってもよろしいかしら。泥沼に引きずられるような進軍速度ですけれど、気になさらないで結構よ。私は待っててあげられますから。この程度の戦いですし、余力を残すことをお許しください。どうぞ続けて。ご命令の通りに。獲物はどれですの？すぐに解決いたしますわ。気をつけなさい。この海流は脆弱な命を飲み込みますわ。逃げる前に私の許可は取ったのかしら。ねえ獲物さん、この切っ先があなたの心臓に滑り込むまで1秒もかかりませんわ。おもちゃで遊ぶのもここまで。生き残ること、それがあなたが守るべき唯一のルールですわ。お手本のような勝利でしたわ。あなたはいずれきっとどんな弱小生物よりも優れた方になるのでしょうね。逃げた獲物に情報を伝達する能力がないなら、あなたの首はまだ皮一枚でつながっていますわね。盆栽ですわね。お気遣いはありがたいのですけど、私は自分の狭い住処の方が居心地いいんですが。ドクター、陸地の礼儀を守ってくださいませ。それとも無礼なのが主義かしら。お気をつけになった方がよろしくてよ。私たちのようなものは所詮皆怪物ですもの。アークナイツ、ごきげんよう、ドクター。
Alright, and that will do it for today's episode. I would like to point out that she's one of those who does have a voice line about Kaltsit. And I love the fact that she just literally tells you, hey, that woman is older than me. Quite by far. Oh boy, cannot wait for that full backstory. But yeah, that will do it for today's episode. If you by chance haven't done the Undertide story yet before Stultifera Navis, I would either recommend just read up on it, or you can go to my channel here and just listen to me narrate through the story and do character voices and shit. And while you do something else during your day to absorb the entire story. Because Stultifera Navis is the second part of this whole story, and I don't know how the story is gonna go, but potentially knowing stuff from Undertides is gonna be better than going blind into it. Or obviously there are channels out there who do just short retellings of what the story was about. So if that's more your thing, obviously you can go up and look those up. Those are pretty easy to find, I think. But this will do it for today's file. Tomorrow we are going to be looking at Skadi and Skadi Altar's file. As the last one before the event drops, Spectre will be covered, but she will be covered after the release of Stultifera Navis. And after I do some polls for her, which I am still so nervous about doing. But yeah, anyway. As per usual, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.